I know it's hard for a lot of us to find the time to listen to a whole podcast or to watch one if you're watching this on YouTube, which you shouldn't be, but that's okay. This is a clip that I enjoyed from the episode and hope you find it valuable too. Enjoy. What about the education piece for these borrowers or for these customers? How are you working on that? Because you mentioned trust quite a few times, and I can understand that, you're including them financially, but then you also have to build in the financial literacy as well for this too. Loans will help in for the intention of working capital, but it's also a slippery slope where it could be, abused for the lack of a better word, or where it could kind of shoot them in the foot, which is why sometimes there's this lack of trust with banks, right? Especially when working capital finance comes in, or when some kind of debt financing comes in for businesses that do feel like, okay, let's go to the bank, put down some collateral. I'm not even sure if that still happens, but yeah, put down some collateral. But then for these guys, you know, very limited resources already. They're still trying to understand, like, you coming in, you're giving them a means to an end to grow their own net worth or their own, build up a better financial future for themselves. But it could also be, easily abused by just because of the lack of understanding. How does that come in?
So I'll answer your question back to front. First and foremost, there is no collateral. These guys do not have anything that is bankable collateral which they can show.
Yeah. Which is why they don't even go to the bank in the first place, right?
There is no.
Yeah.
What possibly could you give?
Yeah.
Everything that you have is rented.
Yeah.
You are churning money into your business.
Yeah.
You do understand how to make more money.
Yeah.
But how to grow it or how to actually get access to that capital is beyond you. Right now in Pakistan, if you want to start a business, you will do what in startup worlds you would call a friends and family round.
Yeah.
Literally go and ask people, give me 50,000, give me 100,000. You will collect that money. You will crowd fund those sources.
Yeah.
Open up whatever shop, ride hailing, agri farm, small factory, small e-commerce business, whatever you would want.
Yeah.
And you'll kick that up. Over time, you'll try to grow, and inshallah, you would grow. You would convert that into a actual functioning business.
Yeah.
But from that one business, how do you convert yourself into a bankable customer where you actually have, as you said, collateral or balance sheets, or actually understand how accounting works? Because as a bank, I can't talk to you if you aren't talking to me in the world of accounting, because that's how that's the language of finance.
Yeah.
So you would need to use that. You don't know any of these type of details. So that's where we launched something called Muawin Academy. So there's two aspects or two directions that we would take here. One is design for the customer you have, not for the customer you would want. So our app is primarily in Urdu. We designed it from the ground up with large iconography, completely Urdu design, because we know I don't want you to understand or try to learn so many different features at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you how to use credit, how to make your bottom line better, how this is something new. I'm not here to take a pound of flesh. I'm actually helping you. So it's a win-win scenario.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you this while using a new and foreign app which you've never used before.
Yeah.
So that's not what was going to work. So first thing was build for who you have.
Yeah.
So that was the first education component in terms of making just a no-brainer in terms of usage. Nothing there. Then we wanted to start something called Muawin Academy, where it was about short-form content, which we will kick off over the next few months, where we did a lot of research, whatever verticals you would have, go talk to people, figure out what their main problems are, and then show them in very small snippets of information, which grabs your attention, doesn't again require you to spend too much time. There's not a course that I'm trying to teach you, and then take you through that journey of understanding what these terms even mean. So when I say credit, what does that mean? When you say committee is a form of credit.
Yeah.
People do not tend to understand that.
savings है ना?
But वो savings नहीं है, वो credit है. आप अब दूसरे लोग, जिस बंदे को end पे पैसे मिल रहे हैं, वो बेचारे को मसला होगा. जिसको पहले पैसे मिल रहे हैं, वो खुश है.
पड़ती है और किसी को नहीं
Exactly.
पड़ती. Yeah.
And people tend to forget that, because जब तक उसको पैसे मिलेंगे, inflation उसके पैसे खा चुका है.
Yeah.
So it's these small tweaks in our understanding of what money really means. And it is not complicated. It is just, we were never really brought up in this financialized world, which we now do exist in. And it's just slowly and surely taking people through that journey. If we want our customers to pay us digitally, we're working with all major digital payment methods. Brilliant. how do I incentivize that? Should I have maybe a widget in my app which shows the customer, okay, this is your profile completion level, brilliant. If you start paying me digitally, these are XYZ benefits that you could get. You will save more on, you could either get a higher limit or a lower fee or whatever. And then through that, you don't really need to worry about cash handling. So if you're paying me, brilliant, that's I reward you for it. Then eventually think of you paying your supplier digitally, because now you're living in Karachi, crime is already something you're worried about. Why do you have cash on hand? How do I explain to you that holding cash is an expense? That's why Visa, MasterCard even did the growth that they did globally, because cash handling has implicit and explicit costs. Again, how do you put these into numbers? It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So to monetize that, to actually explain that, that's what the financial system did a horrible job there.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to really pick up that slack. So,
and see, I also feel like it's not just a matter of you taking that step is great on you, but I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there has to be more players also, not just like yourselves, but also, have nothing to do with the buying and lending and borrowing space, but also create that financial literacy and awareness too. Because it's a matter of education. We're trying to change behaviors altogether, but we're not going to the root cause of it right
100%.
now. Oftentimes behavior change is, I feel like at times is just jumping the initial important steps and going straight to like, okay, now let's stop using Easy Pesa and use this. So let's stop using the Dukandar and use Food Panda, rather than going a step further back and tracking where did it all start from.
And so our problem is either we think in binaries,
Yeah.
or we think in one winner will take all.
Yeah.
Nahi hone wala.
Yeah.
It's never been done. Our market is too big for any one player to even serve a fraction of it. So it goes back to our understanding, which sadly we did see for a long time, is that we were building many dairy की मस्जिद है. हर कोई अपना चीज़ में करने की कोशिश कर रहा था. Some of them were very successful, some of them weren't. But there was an unwillingness to work together, to come to a single point and understand, as you said, what are the root causes of whatever ails us.
Yeah.
Be it financial education, be it actual school education, be it whatever you may think of. We as a unit, in terms of the startup world that is taken root, we are doing a lot of good work. There are brilliant minds in this area. There's a lot of good that we could just do by building that ecosystem of shared knowledge that we do disseminate. And there are ways to do it. There's ways to maybe do it without having a commercial relationship. We actually diversify the cost amongst many different startups. The fintechs could come together and start pitching a lot of education-based content around finance. Same could be done through your B2B startups, your delivery startups, through whatever. But the goal should be that behavior change that we would like to have the ideal customer, we would have to create it eventually, and there are many steps along that journey.
Yeah.
So we, by working together, have a lot more to gain here, which is, we are trying to live that ethos. We try to actually show ourselves as one of the more friendlier startups to work with. We know exactly what we do, and I know where my boundaries are, and we would not want to step out of that. So as a founding team, as a company culture, we know exactly what Moavin does. So we are very open to whichever, be it partnerships, be it whatever, because again, we don't want people to feel threatened. We want them to come in, work with us, we'll share data, we'll share whatever, and we'll build use cases and services together. Because only in that do we achieve the blitz scale that we need for Pakistan to fundamentally change.
If you like this, help me grow the channel, help me find more guests, help me find more listeners out there in the world just like yourself. So don't forget to subscribe and pass this episode on to your friends and family.